Working on a cloud wrapper application that serves an simple interface for some of the popular services in AWS. So in this case, you can see there are three: the compute, AI models, and object storage. This is a interface against Bedrock models and interacting with that. This is for S3 and this is for EC2. It's still in progress. Right now, the very basic functionalities are there. For example, if I go to object storage, it lists all the S3 buckets that I have in my S3. For example, this is my S3 buckets. You can see the same buckets are appearing in this UI as well. So I can go to this one, for example, and here I will upload a file. Choose a new file. I'll take this test.html, for example. Let's upload. File uploaded successfully. Test.html got added. It's current date 11/23, and if I go to my bucket, I refresh this. Oh, sorry, not refresh. I need to open this. Let's sort by last modified. So now it is showing test.html that I uploaded just now. So coming back, there is a create bucket also. I think with this one is still in progress. I will show it maybe in a later video. But yeah, upload file, create folder, and create bucket. These will be the functionalities. Going back to home, this is the AI model. This is interface against Bedrock. So from Bedrock, it fetches all the models. And note behind the scene, it is using AWS SDK. So if I show you the code, for example, this is AI.js. It uses AWS SDK for the Bedrock particular. It uses that instance .bedrock for listing out the models. That is there in this place. It is slash model API. Get Bedrock client list foundation model with these params by provider Amazon. Maybe this can be modified. It can be anthropic, or have to see whether star works. If a star works, that will be much more better as it will list all the models. And this is for getting more details of a particular model. Then this is for invoking model. For invoking, it requires runtime, not the client. So Bedrock runtime client is created differently than the Bedrock client. Bedrock client requires AWS.bedrock, while the runtime client uses AWS.bedrock runtime. And this is the one against which any prompt can be run for against particular model. This is the compute.js. This path lists all the launch templates. It is again using AWS SDK, AWS EC2, describe launch template for returning all the templates existing. This is for launching an instance from one of the instances by passing the template ID. And this is for listing out all the running instances. Okay, object storage for this three that we just saw. This is for listing all the buckets. It is also using AWS SDK. AWS.S3 instance is getting created here, and on that list bucket is called. This is for listing content of a particular bucket. This is for downloading a file from bucket. I can click on any file to download it. I can show you that part. Coming back to the UI, I go back to S3. And if I go to this one, for example, I can click on any file like this, and it immediately starts download of that file. This file got downloaded. Okay, coming back. So for AWS CLI that I said it needs, that AWS SDK that we are using, that requires AWS CDK here. So you need to have AWS CDK installed and key configured. So when you install AWS CLI, you can type AWS command from your command line, and you should see something like this as output. And for configuring your access key ID, that is needed because with that particular access key ID's user's permission, it is able to do all this command listing the bucket or creating a bucket. So that user also requires IAM permissions. I will show you that part. And for configuring that particular access key ID of a user, you need to run AWS configure. In my case, it is already configured, so I'm already seeing a part of it, masked value. But you should see some newer prompt where it will ask you to enter the access key ID and all those things that you will have to create from IAM. This is my IAM users, and I'm using this as 3D write user there. And you can see this one, I already have an active access key ID. I can show you that part as it displays some values. So, okay, if I go inside this one, I can show you all the permissions it has. So I'm using some uh, AWS managed permissions like Bedrock read only or EC2 read only access, IAM read only access, and some I have created for my specific permission. I did not wanted AWS Bedrock to be invoked for all the models, so I created a permission for a particular model. So I have requested access for this one, Amazon Titan Lite, and for that only I'm allowed. So if I try to interact with any other model, it will give me a permission error. I'm trying to limit the access so that these access cannot be misused. And this is for running in EC2. So from launching an instance from EC2, this permission is required. So for that, I have separately creating this one. There is an Amazon EC2 write access, but that gives a lot more number of permissions. So I'm just giving this one. So for that purpose, I created a custom one. Okay. Regarding the Bedrock part, let me show you something. So if I go to Bedrock, model catalog. So suppose if I choose this one, wait, let me go back. So here you can see all these are showing available to request. So we cannot use any of these model directly without requesting the access. So any model that you need to access, you need to go to modify access and request access. In my case, the Titan model that I showed, only for that I have requested. So if I go to, I'll just keep a Titan filter. So you can see these are available to request and this one is access granted. So I have only got access to this one. So I'm using that one from in my IAM permission. So coming back, let me show you this Amazon Q part. So if I go to AI models, here I can choose any particular model. This is the this is actually the one that I have created. I mean, I have requested access. There are two because you can see if I click on the first one, it is a bit different, 0.4K. So this may be the parameter size. So it is having 0.4K parameter. But I have not requested access for this one. I have requested for this one. So I will select this and give it a prompt. Send prompt. So hello, how I can assist you today. This is the response that came from this particular Bedrock model. Okay, coming back to the home. In the compute, you can see I can list out all the instance template, launch template that I have. So I have one, and I have already created one instance from this one. I did this from this UI itself. Let me show you that is the only one running right now. So this is only one instance running right now. We'll launch another instance, and this one doesn't have public IP, so we'll not be able to connect using the key pair. I'm working on a feature where it will let us launch the terminal for doing SSH to this instance. It is still in progress. Let me do a launch instance from this one. So it launched the instance successfully. This is the instance ID. I can close the pop-up, refresh, and now we are having two instances. If I go back to my AWS console, and if I refresh, this is the second instance that got added. It is still initializing. Okay. So yeah, for now, these are the only features that I have added. We'll continue adding more features and we'll update it in the future videos. Thanks.